Hey everyone, it's the one and only magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I'm back at it with another RTS video, and most likely one of the last RTS videos, as it's going to be raiding with me. And not only will I be doing raids, probably for the last time ever, as we are getting closer to the end of this game shutting down officially, but I'm also going to be going over my spoiler review of The Walking Dead, Daryl, Dixon, The Book of Carol, Season 2, Episode 6, the season finale, Goodbye Children. And what can I say about the episode? It's definitely a very interesting episode. Like, look, it's not the worst episode of the season, but like, it's good. But like I will say, the first half of the episode is really great. It's definitely the best part of the episode, right? The second half is like, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, but it kind of drags out a little bit, if that makes sense. And before we get into that, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. And as always, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And if you want to share the video, that'd be great too. If you do any of those four things, that would be very much appreciated by me. And I'm doing pretty good, and I'm staying safe for the most part. And yeah, let's get started with very likely the last raiding with me video ever on the channel. I actually do have one more RTS video that I want to do. I haven't gotten to it yet. So, like, let me show you what I want to do. I know it's going to be pointless, but I'm going to do a massive pull video. See all of these tokens? I want to pull all of them in one video. Even all of these. Like, just to see, just for the hell of it, right? That'll probably be the absolute final RTS video that I do on the channel. And then, as far as another mobile game, well, I'll give you a little bit of an update on that. Well, one game that I wanted to try, I got a bit of bad news. Well, I download this one. It's Walking Dead related, but however, I try to get into it. It tells me I gotta check my internet every single time, and I'm like, nah, motherfucker, y'all gotta check y'all's servers. That's so, unfortunately, I think that Walking Dead game might be out. I don't know what's going on. But another game that I was attempting to try, well, here's the thing about that. Some more bad news. Apparently I need to be connected to Wi-Fi in order to even load into the game, which, like, whatever. There's two more games that I have kind of tried out, and I mean, they're not bad, but here's the big issue with them. They constantly crash. So I'm gonna keep searching around. Even if it's not Walking Dead related mobile game, I'm gonna find something, and I'm not gonna worry about that until December. It might not be right at the start of December 1st, but I will find something else. I assure you, I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't want to give up on that one Walking Dead game, No Man's Land, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to even get into the game, because it tells me every time I try to get into it that I need to check my internet. So, I don't know. I will definitely keep you guys updated on my community tab on my channel, or if you're a part of my Discord, I will keep you guys notified. Plus, I got other stuff happening right now on the channel. I got the NFL videos each and every week, and I have the Batman Arkham Knight playthrough that I'm currently doing right now. So the channel's not quiet, but yeah, we'll see. But anyway, enough of all of that. I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update on that. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get into the spoiler review of the Daryl Dixon spinoff. So if you do not want to know absolutely anything, or if you're not caught up, I would go ahead and click off the video now, or just mute the video and then come back. Or if you want to stick around and you don't care about spoilers, you can stick around. That would be great. Or if you want to stick around and hear what I have to say, that would be great as well. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Here is my spoiler review of The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol, Season 2, Episode 6, Season Finale, titled Goodbye Children. So let's see. Just like the last couple of parts, I got this episode broken down in different character sections. So, of course, we got Daryl, Carol, Ash has a part, J-Girl has a part, Stefan has a part. So anyway, we're going to start with Daryl. So Daryl, he ends up finding a guitar, right? And he knows that Laurent was singing back at that church from season 1. So, you know, Daryl finds that guitar for Laurent. So, yeah, Daryl and Laurent sing, which is like, that's crazy to think that, who would have ever thought that Daryl would be singing on The Walking Dead? I mean, he sings like for 20 seconds tops. It's not a big deal. You know, Laurent starts singing, then Daryl comes in. I believe they're singing You Can't Always Get What You Want, I believe is what they start singing. So it's like 20 seconds tops. It's no big deal, but it's just kind of funny. Daryl Dixon singing on The Walking Dead. Like, okay, sure, whatever. And then also Daryl, he agrees to stay behind while Ash takes him, Laurent, and Carol on the plane. So this is like I'm going to kind of keep this review short, so just bear that in mind, because I truly believe that the France stuff is absolutely done. Like honestly, what else could they do in France? As I get through the review, you'll kind of understand. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so Daryl and Laurent are singing, which is kind of funny that Daryl's singing, and then Daryl agrees to stay behind, and Laurent has a little conversation with Carol. Laurent says to Carol that, you know, I wonder if Daryl's gonna find his way back to America. And like Carol's like looking at him like what? Like what are you talking about? So Carol ends up having a conversation with Daryl, And Carol ends up giving Daryl back his crossbow, and that's a little moment between them two. And you know, he asked, "Did you lug this all the way here?" And she says that he allowed for one carry-on on the plane, and as he's getting the crossbow back from Carol, you can see a smile breaking out on his face because he's glad to have his baby back. Yeah, he can fuck motherfuckers up now with his signature weapon. He can't help but smile because he's got his signature baby back. So yeah, he can't help but smile a little bit, at least a little bit, because he's got his crossbow back. So then that's when Carol says, like, "Look, I want to stay behind, even if that means, making sure that you get back to America. I want to stay behind." But Daryl says that, no, you're not staying behind. I'm gonna stay behind. So next up, let me see here. Which character do I want to jump to? Because I don't want to get into Carol's section just yet. Okay, so let me go. So yeah, Fa Lu. So it turns out that Fa Lu didn't die, which is good. Which that's something that I was assuming that was going to happen in episode 5, that Lo Sang was going to kill Fa Lu, like, off screen, and we would find out that, yeah, okay, Fa Lu got killed off screen, but that wasn't the case because Fa Lu is traveling with Stefan and 2 other people, one woman and one younger girl from Fa Lu's hideout. And they're looking for supplies at this hospital type of building, and Fa Lu and Stefan go into the hospital. It's not really a hospital, but it's like a mental institution, and they go in there and look for supplies, and that's when they see there's these walkers that have been strapped down to to their bed. So it's like kind of like a nursing home, I would assume, probably from people that either gotten bitten or maybe they were fall risk patients and they would strap them down to the bed. So that's why they're strapped down to the bed, I'm assuming. That's when Fa Lu, he ends up being held at gunpoint by Janae's former people, and her right-hand woman who is still alive, and they say, "Look, we know that y'all know where Daryl and the boy are. We want to know." And like, that's when she says, "Look, Stefan," she doesn't call him that, but she's telling Stefan, "Do I have to kill your friend to get you to talk?" And that's when Stefan and Fa Lu, they end up getting the upper hand on them, but Janae's right-hand woman, she ends up running away. She gets out of there. But Fa Lu, Stefan, neither one of them die. So, Fa Lu is like, we don't know where they're at. And Stefan is like, well, I know where they're at. So Fa Lu and Stefan go to warn the others, Daryl, Carol, Laurent, that like, hey, they're out there looking for y'all. So they go to warn the others, so Stefan knows exactly where to go. Now, let's see. Nope, that's for later. So, okay, so we get a little... Now we jump over to Anna, who's in her car with her driver, and her friend, whose name is not... I don't think we learned it, but it's not important. But anyway... Anna and her friend and her driver, they're going back to the nightclub, I'm assuming, and that's when they get stopped by J-Girl and the Union of Hope. So they got all their guns pointed at the car, and that's when Anna and her friend and the driver get out, and, you know, J-Girl's like, do you remember me from that cesspit of a place that you run? And she's like, oh yeah, I remember you. You came in with a man and you left without him. Like, ooh, does that hurt, J-Girl? The fact that that motherfucker got killed, huh? Yeah, she knows it does. That's why she said it like that to her. But anyway, she's like, you know, I want to know where Laurent and Daryl is. I'm after that plane. You know, she's like, I want to know where it's at. And Anna is like, if I didn't help him, why would I help you? That's when she orders one of her people to shoot the driver, kills the driver. Then, you know, she's like, yeah, you can keep on being quiet about it, but if you don't tell me, your pretty little friend is next. So that's when Anna, she sells out Daryl, Laurent, but before they end up getting captured, she mentions that her mother is back in this other country. So that is something I should have mentioned beforehand. But anyway, so Anna ends up selling out Daryl and Laurent, and like, she's like, you know what, I know where it's at. I know where the plane is at, you know, but I'm not gonna just give you what you want. I'm not gonna give you what you want without getting something else in return. So if I give you the boy, I get the plane and the pilot because I want to go back home to my people. And J-Girl, she doesn't say nothing, but she agrees. So Anna, she ends up taking J-Girl and the Union of Hope to the area where the plane is at. And Anna says that the quickest way to get there is we have to go through this very dark tunnel. She doesn't say very dark, but it's very dark and suspicious. The quickest way to get to the airplane is we have to go through this tunnel, which happens to be very dark and it looks very suspicious. That'll be the quickest way to get there. We'll drop them by surprise if we go this way. But Anna, last week I said, I don't know, can we trust Anna? Well, when she initially sells them out and agrees that, look, if I give you the boy, let me have the plane and the pilot, I want to go back home. But she is doing it. She is purposely leading J-Girl and the Union of the Hope down the tunnel in the hopes of luring all of them into a trap and potentially being walker food. So even though she took them there, that was her game plan to try to get them killed. And there are a couple of them that end up getting killed by walkers. J-Girl even gets bit in the arm in the process of all of this happening. And they all end up, there's this area like with this gate area, and they all of them except for Anna are able to get out of there, and they close Anna in there. And she's like, you bitch, you knew about these walkers. You tried to get us killed, right? She doesn't say the B word, but, you know, that's what she's thinking in her head, I'm sure. But she's like, you knew that there were walkers in here. And she's like, no, you're not getting out. You know, we're going to let the walkers eat you, right? And she says to J-Girl, Anna says that Dixon will kill you. And she's like, no, God is with us. And that's when she says, God gave up on us a long time ago. And yeah, Anna, yeah, she dies right here because the walkers, they devour her right then and there. So, Anna, here's the thing about her. I wouldn't have been surprised if she would have actually led them to Daryl and them, because remember, she sold out Quinn to Janae's people back in season 1, so it's not like, I was like, oh damn, yeah, she did sell them out, huh? It's not the first time, but she clearly just wanted that nightclub, and she sold them out in the hopes of getting them killed, the Union of Hope. But some of them got killed, and J-Girl even got bit in the arm. So yeah, no matter, J-Girl, if you end up getting Laurent, you're fucked in a matter of time, because you just got bit by a walker in the process. So they end up, a firefight starts between them, and that's when Ash, Laurent, and Carol have to get on the plane immediately, right then and there, and get the hell out of there. And that's when, and Falu and Stefan are there to help out Daryl. And, the plane is stopped. It ends up, Ash flies. He doesn't fly the plane. He's not up in the air yet, but he's driving the plane to the runway, but he stops, and Carol looks at Ash and says, "Are we good?" And Ash says, "Yeah," but it cuts away to Daryl and Falu and Stefan fighting off, the Union of Hope. But that's where Carol, she ends up staying behind to help Daryl, but they don't show that immediately. So, because the plane is stopped for a suspicious amount of time, like what's going on, right? Well, Ash is giving Carol time to get out of the plane before he starts going any further. So yeah, Ash is able to fly Laurent out of France successfully. Yes, that is a good moment to see that Laurent is able to finally get the hell out of France, despite all the crazy people that was after him. Janae, Lo Sang, now J-Girl. He ain't got to worry about all that bullshit, which that is a good moment. Oh man, when you see the plane up in the air, Laurent's just waving back at Daryl, Daryl's waving back at him, and you just see the look on J-Girl's face, oh my god, I can't believe he's gone, I'm not going to be able to get him, oh, what are we going to do, oh. But anyway, once J-Girl knows that Laurent is gone, she knows she is absolutely fucked for one of two reasons. Laurent is not going to be the so-called chosen one to cure the Walker virus and all that bullshit that they believed in, and she got bit by a walker, so J-Girl does the only thing that she knows she can do left, and, well, she looks at the gun and puts the gun under her chin, and, yep, J-Girl offs herself. They don't show it, but next thing you know, once she puts the gun under her chin, they cut back to Daryl and Carol, then you hear the gun go boom. So, there you go. J-Girl's no more. She knew she was screwed. She knew she was done. So, what else could she have done? I mean, oh well, I don't, she was part of the whole, we gotta get Laurent. We have to have him be bit by a walker, all that bullshit. So, oh well, that part of the episode I thought was, pretty good. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am. Before we move on to the second part, the second half of the episode, that kind of drags when it gets to a certain part, which we will get to. So, since Daryl and Carol are now trapped in France, Ash and Laurent are officially gone. They're out of there. Daryl and Carol are now trapped, but Falou has a bit of good news because he met this couple back at the nightclub, and he says that this couple, whose names I have forgotten, but they're not really going to matter by the end of this episode, trust me. But anyway, he says that the couple are going back to England, and that the couple can take Carol and Daryl back to England with them so they can get out of France. So, yeah, the France stuff is coming to an end. I mean, like, Janae is dead, Losang's dead, J-Girl's dead, Anna's dead, Laurent is out of there, Isabella's dead, Sylvie's dead. Like, most of the season 1 characters, aside from Falou, Stefan, Daryl, Laurent, they're dead. Like, what else is there to possibly do in France at this point? Like, the alternative is to go to another country at this point. Because they sure as hell ain't getting back to America yet. Yeah, AMC wants to milk Daryl Dixon, which, I mean, I can't blame them. Like, Daryl Dixon is the whole package. But anywho, so yeah, France is done. So Daryl, Carol, Stefan, they meet this couple that Falou met, whose names I can't remember. So the couple, they agree that they're going to let Daryl, Carol, Falou, and Stefan, come with them as they go through these tunnels, which, once they get to the tunnels, this is where the episode drags a little bit. A little bit. It really does drag. So, before that, they end up setting up a little place so they can spend a night before they get to the entrance of these Pacific tunnels. So, this is where Stefan finally confronts Daryl about his brother's death. And, Stefan still believes that Daryl killed his brother. And Daryl says, then this is where Daryl finally tells Stefan the truth about what actually happened to his brother. He says to Stefan, I didn't kill your brother. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, what? No, I didn't kill your brother. That girl beat me to it. And he's like mad. He's like, son of a bitch, are you serious? Like, he's like, I've been beefing with you based off a lie. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, anyway, so that's straightened up now. Stefan finally knows the real deal about who killed his brother, which, I'm glad they didn't leave that unsolved, like, unsolved, you know what I mean? I'm glad, like, there was a resolution to it. So, it took a little bit. I thought they might have already talked about it off screen, but, that's when, then we got a moment where Falou, back when Falou, Stefan were at the mental institution, and they were with this younger girl and this older woman who's, I think her name is like Annika or something like that. But anyway, so Falou, he says that he's going to leave France, that there's no reason for him to stay behind, but, well, Falou and that girl Annika they end up locking lips. Yeah, so they end up making out a little bit. So Falou, well, he said he didn't have a reason to stay in France, but he might now have a reason to stay in France because the next morning they get to the entrance of the tunnels, and Falou's going at first, but he stops and he looks behind at that woman, and he says, well, I changed my mind. I'm gonna stay behind. So Falou ends up going back over to the woman that he was making out with the night before. So at least one character from season 1 is getting a happy ending. It kind of sucks that Isabella ain't around, but whatever. At least Falou didn't. At least he's not along with the casualties of the season 1 character. So there's at least some light at the end of that tunnel. So good for him, Hey, good for him. I was expecting him to die as well. I was like, well, fuck it. They might as well kill him off too, right? They're just going to town with the season 1 characters, killing them off left and right. So no, Falou, he's staying behind, and he's got a woman on his arm now. So okay, good for him. At least one of the season 1 characters are getting a happy ending of sorts. So that's the last we see of Falou. So this is where the couple lead Daryl, Carol, and Stefan through the tunnels, and there's these checkpoints that are all set up in the tunnels, but like all of the people that have been there, that they've either been bitten or they've died from being down there so long. And apparently, to the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, bat shit makes you hallucinate. Remember, because that's going to be important. So Daryl ends up finding this tent with 2 gas masks, and that's also going to be important. So they end up going through the tunnel. Daryl, Carol, Stefan, all 5 of them, because I gotta remember, I took one out because Falou was with them, but he stayed behind, but it's a good thing that he stayed behind as what's gonna happen. So they're going through the tunnel, and we have glowing walkers. I know it was another name for them, but kind of cool. They're glowing walkers, like the lights of lightning bugs or fireflies, like sort of like that, but they're just like normal walkers, but they're glowing in certain spots, which is like, okay, kind of interesting. So like I said, the first half of this episode is actually really good. It's like the best part of it, but I mean, the whole part in the tunnels, it has its moments, but it's like they could have stretched out the finale. You know what? I'll talk more about it after I get done talking about it. But anyway, they're in the tunnels, and then all of a sudden, you see Daryl. He's just hallucinating, but he's not really hallucinating nothing significant at first, which we will get back to. Stefan, no, Carol. Carol's actually the first one to start hallucinating. Carol actually hallucinates Sophia in the tunnel, so apparently that bat shit is making them hallucinate, and it's starting to work, because Carol sees Sophia, Walker Sophia, and then she runs off thinking that she's going after Sophia when it's not the case. And there's one point where Carol ends up hallucinating a walker version of herself, which I was like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. Who would have ever thought that we would have seen her hallucinating herself as another walker, you know, but she's just killing another random walker, but she's like looking at the walker as if it's her walker version, which I thought, okay, that's actually kind of neat. So yeah, Carol's hallucinating Sophia in different parts of the tunnels, and she thinks she's saving her, but, you know, she's imagining her going into the barn doors and all that shit. And Stefan, he also starts hallucinating. Yeah, Stefan hallucinates his brother in a walker, hallucinates his brother as a walker, and he's like, brother, or Michael, or Michelle, whatever his brother's name is, and he runs over to this walker, which is a totally random walker, but he thinks it's his brother, and Daryl goes to save Stefan, and that's when Stefan is like, you son of a bitch, you killed my brother, you know. But Daryl doesn't realize that Stefan is hallucinating, and that's when he tries to kill Daryl because Stefan actually thinks Daryl killed his brother, but he was just killing the random walker. So, you know, Daryl fights off Stefan. He doesn't kill him, but he just like fights him off. But then Stefan, he just runs off because he thinks he sees his brother again in the tunnel, so he just runs the fuck off, and we don't see Stefan again. So, like, is that the end of Stefan? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe not. That one's like kind of a question mark. So, yeah, Stefan runs the fuck off, and we don't see him again for the rest of that's it for Stefan. Like, so Carol continues to see Sophia, and then we get to a part where she takes out these walkers, and she doesn't see the walker Sophia. She sees the normal version of Sophia. And she's hugging Sophia, and she's crying and asking, like, her, can I come with you? And, like, here's my question. What is Carol actually hugging? It doesn't seem like she's hugging anything, but she's hugging Sophia, but, like, she's hallucinating, so you gotta remember that. I don't know, and then, like, Sophia, she doesn't say a word, and she just runs off, and we don't see Sophia in Carol's mind no more throughout the episode. Once Daryl knows that Stefan is hallucinating, he goes back to that tent where the two gas masks were, but the couple, during all of this, they end up disappearing, right? But that's when Daryl gets knocked down by the guy, and yeah, the couple tries to kill Daryl because he says to Daryl, I'm sorry, but we got people waiting for us back at home. And we finally get to see what Daryl is hallucinating, and he hallucinates, he's on the ground, and the couple is about to kill him, but during that time of Daryl hallucinating, he sees a figure to his right walking to him slowly but surely, and it's Isabel that he's hallucinating, and she kind of just bends down over near the top of him, and, you know, she says, do you remember what I told you the first time we met? She said, I told you to bet on hope, and then he's looking to, you know what, no, I got that wrong. He's actually, Isabella was on his left. He actually looks to his right. Once Isabella gets right up in his face, Daryl actually looks to his right, and he sees his grandfather, who was a soldier back in World War II. if you didn't see the first season, you would be like, who the hell is that soldier that he is hallucinating, right? Because there is a scene in season 1 that indicates that, okay, his grandfather did fight in WW2. And he's hallucinating his grandfather at a real young age, you know, during that war, so... And then he stops hallucinating him too, and Daryl just gets up and handles his shit and kills the couple. And he takes the 2 gas masks. He takes one for himself, and he's going to go find one for Carol. I mean, he's going to go find Carol to give her the other one, and, you know, Carol, once Daryl reaches up to her and finds her, Carol asks, where's Stefan? And he says, I don't know, he just fucking ran off. And Daryl's like, fuck it, let's get out of here and let's go home. And both of them are continuing into the tunnels side by side, and that's how the season ends. So yeah, okay. Do I think this was the worst episode of season 2? No, I don't think it was the worst episode, but like, okay, it could have been better. It could have been better. I think the second half of season 2 is still the best half of this particular season. I think the worst episode of this season is probably the premiere. Not because it's bad, only because it's so heavy focused on Carol. But they had to have a reason. They had to get Carol involved into the season somehow, right? But I do think the premiere episode is the worst. Not because it's a terrible episode, but, you know, the first episode is heavily focused on Carol. Daryl's in that episode just like a tiny little bit, but like not much. But the other 5 episodes, I believe, split the time between Daryl and Carol very well, as evenly as it possibly can. As it possibly can. And what season do I like the best? Season 1 or season 2? That is a tough one. Overall, I do like both seasons very much, but which finale did I like better? Overall, I think I liked season 1's finale probably better overall, because it wasn't like, it didn't feel like a drag like season 2's finale was. Like, okay, how I think they could have made season 2's finale better is, why not drag out the whole subplot of like, how are we getting Laurent out of France? Okay? They should have dragged the finale out. They should have dragged that out and made the whole finale of how are we successfully going to get Laurent out of France. I feel like it would have made for a much better finale, in my opinion. Because that first half was like, it was really great. The second half had its moments, but it's like kind of all over the place. Like the stuff with Carol hallucinating herself as a walker, and her hallucinating Sophia, and then Daryl hallucinates Isabel and his grandfather, I thought was like, okay, not bad. I thought was great. But like Stefan being, you know, hallucinating his brother, I was like, I mean, the whole section with the tunnels felt kind of, like, it was cool to see the glowing walkers, like that was cool, but it was dragged out a little bit. They could have, like, for God's sake, look at season 8 of the main show. They dragged out all-out war for an entire season. They could have figured a way out to drag out the fact that how are they going to get Laurent out of France, and within the last 10, maybe the last 15 to 10 minutes of the episode successfully get him out. I feel like it would have probably been a much better finale, but it's a mixed bag. I think episodes 4 and 5 are definitely significantly better than the finale, in my opinion, because both of those episodes, they don't feel like a mixed bag. If you want to say rushed, sure, I can't agree with that, but I don't think episodes 4 and 5 are like nowhere near as of a mixed bag as the finale. So I am looking forward to season 3. It's obvious that there's going to be a season 3. And apparently, they're somehow going to end up in Spain. I don't know how the fuck that's going to happen, but even though they're supposedly supposed to be going to England, somehow they end up in Spain, apparently. So that'll be kind of interesting. There will be new characters, new villain. There will be new characters, new story. So clearly the France stuff is done. Now will season 3 be more than 6 episodes? I don't know. We'll see, but I will tell you this. I ended up liking Daryl Dixon season 2 a hell of a lot better than Dead City. That's just me. I still think when it comes to these 3 spin-offs of Dead City, Daryl Dixon, and The Ones Who Live, so far, Dead City is the bottom of the barrel. That's just me. I still think that Daryl Dixon is still up above Dead City, like significantly so. So I don't think I have much else left to say other than okay, how do they end up in Spain? Maybe they take a wrong turn. Maybe they end up getting kidnapped. I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Now, will I be watching Dead City Season 2? I will be. Whenever that comes on, I will definitely be watching it. Although my expectations will be down on the floor, I'm still going to be watching it because who knows? Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised because that Season 1, look, Negan absolutely made Season 1 watchable. Other than that, trust me, if it would have been all about Maggie only, are people still going to be watching? Maybe, but not as many people. Come on, let's be honest. Negan carried Dead City. Let's not even kid ourselves. Come on. It's not even, no doubt about it. Negan carried Dead City. Now, if Dead City would have been all about Maggie and Maggie all by herself with new characters, would as many people would have watched it? I don't think they would have. And I think AMC knew that. That's why they ended up adding Negan to it. Because, they know that right now, more people like Negan than they do Maggie, and it's just a fact. Even though I think Dead City is bottom of the barrel, Negan, it makes it the absolutely watchable. Negan and the Marshall character, which maybe Season 2, we'll see. Maybe it could be better than Season 1. I'm hoping that Dead City Season 2 is better than the first season. We'll see. Maybe it will be. I'm still going to watch it even though my expectations are near to the ground. We'll see. But, yeah, I don't think I have much else to say other than, yeah, there's a couple of gaming apps that I tried, and, well, The Walking Dead No Man's Land is the one telling me that I need to check my internet. So far, no success on trying to get on that one. I'm not gonna give up yet, but it's not looking good for me to be able to try that one out. I don't know. It's not looking good, y'all, but I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna find something. I don't know what it's gonna be. That's why I said give me till December. Give me till December. Even if it's late December, middle of the December, just don't panic. I will find something. There is something out there that I will finally be able to get access to. I don't know what it'll be. Even if it's not Walking Dead related, I hope you guys will still continue to be around. Because, like, aren't there 2 other Walking Dead games? One is, All Stars and Survivors, I think it's called. I haven't tried those 2 out. But, see, here's the thing about those 2. I don't like how they look, but, however, I'm willing to give them a try. Just to see. I want to keep on trying No Man's Land, but, I don't know, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good because every time I try to get on it, it tells me I gotta check my internet. And my internet is good enough. So, I don't know. It ain't looking good for No Man's Land, but that's why I said give me till December. But anyway, don't panic. I will definitely let you guys know when I have found something more concrete after RTS as far as a mobile game. I'm still going to be looking around, so even if it's not Walking Dead related, I hope you guys will still continue to stick by me. I would like it to be Walking Dead related, but no promises. We'll see. Nothing is concrete. It's not set in stone yet. So we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and do one last raid, and I think I'm going to declare this the last raid video ever on the channel. I think I'm just going to go ahead and declare it now. Why not? I will have a mega pull video coming out, and that will be my last official RTS video. So yeah, we'll do one last raid. And I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here after this. As much as I've complained about RTS, at least it let me on the game. However, No Man's Land, yeah, it's not letting me on. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, to be honest. You know, forget recording aside. Like, it's not even letting me on. And I might even have to make a video to show proof of this. But my odds is if I'm recording, it'll let me on there. But I don't think I should be paranoid that bad. No, it honestly probably won't. But I need to show proof. I need to show proof that it's not going to let me on there. And that, well, sorry, I was hoping to try this one out, but it's not going to happen. But I'm going to keep trying. I don't want to give up yet. But I might just have to come to the realization that I'm just not going to be able to play No Man's Land, maybe. And there are 2 other games that I have wanted to try out. But like I said, I've been able to get on these 2 games, but of course they constantly crash. And anyone want to take a guess which game company that these other 2 games are made by? You know, if you guys know, feel free to leave that answer down in the comments. I'm not going to tell you what company they come from, but if you know, one of them is a Marvel game. I'll give you a hint as to one of the games that it lets me on there, but it constantly crashes. So, and both of these mobile games come from the same company. But if you guys know what game company I'm talking about, feel free to leave that answer down in the comments. So, that is going to do it for this video. And this is going to be my last official Rating With Me video on the channel. And I will be back with one last official RTS video forever. And I just gotta say, it's been a real honor making these RTS videos. And after my very last RTS video, as far as mobile games, I don't know what my next official mobile game will be, but I will continue to have more parts of the game of life going forward. Without RTS, it presents me the opportunity of having more parts of the game of life. So that is something that's going to spring up a little bit more on the channel in the future. Not immediately, but it's definitely going to happen, and I promise I will find something else to play. I don't know what it's going to be, even if it's not Walking Dead related. I hope you do choose to stick with me through the journey of no matter what mobile game it is. I would like to try No Man's Land, but it's not looking good on my end. That doesn't mean it's non-accessible, but I don't know what's going on my end. But I'm not going to stress about that right now. We'll see. But as always, if you do like the video, make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I am Buck Beak, and I'm going to go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.